Hey guys, Cole here, back on the test server, reviewing Walking Tom Dreng, the Fragment Collection champion that we'll have available on the 7th of the month. This champion is a must get, I would say. So this one will be the first showcase that I'll be doing out of all the legendary champions featured on the test server. So getting things started, Knight Revenant, Spirit, legendary HP based champion. You build HP on this champion. It's very ideal if you're trying to max out his damage. But the important thing about Walking Tom Dreng is that his skills are different or where you want to use them. Okay, so I would highly suggest not going for the all savage gear. 88,000 health, 200 speed, 100% crit, 249 crit damage on him. If you're looking for something to help you with the spiders, then the reason for that is not because his HP burn will not work. That is exactly why you want to be using him for the spider. What you don't want to have on an HP burn comp is damage dealing champions that kill the small spiders, and this build definitely kills the small spiders. I will showcase a different build at the end for the spiders then, but for now we're just going to be doing a general showcase of this dude and seeing how good he is. Okay, you see the gear here. I went HP percent wherever I could, HP percent on the chest piece, HP percent on the boots as well, with speeds, substats, as much critical damage as I could, with also without foregoing any of the HP. Maxed out on skills. Of course, he has the way to activate HP burn debuffs on the target, which is amazing. And he also has his A2, which applies an HP burn debuff on a 3-turn cooldown. This debuff cannot be resisted, so I've built 0 accuracy on him. The HP burn activation is not needed, so you will be doing this a ton. And then we also have Death's Balance, which is again an attack which also equalizes HP. So this is more like a heal plus an attack. So we'll be looking at that as well. And then he also has a passive where he reflects 30% of the damage this champion receives back to the attacker if this champion has 50% or more, and deals 30% more damage instead if this champion has less than 50% HP. So that's how this thing works. Let's go and have a look at Walking Tom Dreng and see how he actually does. So let's go to the campaign. First things first, let's put him in there and just see the skills overall and how they look. And here's Walking Tom Dreng. He's got the ally HP in all battles boost as well in there, so that's going to give us a little bit of extra HP in terms of the showcase. Look at him in battle. Look at the backside of him with a small child sitting on the back. That is so creepy. Actually, let's have a look at the A1 here. Boom. 33,825. Nothing too amazing. The idea behind that is that you want to have the HP burns on it to actually do something good with it. So let's see. Look at that. That reminds me so much of that other champion we have, which applies bombs with that specific skill. It looks like the same animation, so it's a little bit you know, they were bored in how they were going to design it, and so they put the same kind of skill in it. So let's do the A3 here. Oh, he drops a cage right on top of the head. Oh, that was amazing. That was the best thing I've ever seen. He drops a cage on top of them. Oh, if that's not the best skill I've ever seen in Raid, I don't know what is. He literally drops a cage on top of their head. Let's have a look at it again. It's a long cooldown. It's a 4-turn cooldown, but oh, will decrease the cooldown of Exalted Pyre skill by 1 turn if the target's current HP is higher than this champion's current HP. I can't believe that he would do this. I can't believe this. All right, let's do it. Boom. Look at that. 130,000 also. So like a big burst in terms of damage. So let's have a look at him in terms of overall damage that he can do. Let's go to stage 20 or so of the dungeons. Let's do Fire Knight 20 where he's going to be positive affinity. And let's put a defense down. Weaken in there. Let's put Lydia and this guy. Not going to do the added stuff for damage because that makes no point really to showcase this dude. Let's just see with the defense down on weekend on how much damage he does, which is more realistic, I would say, with all of the champions that we have in game at the moment. Apply defense down, not on everybody, and weekend. Didn't apply both. But let's see the A2 here. 91,000, nothing too great in terms of that. So I don't see a reason to build him with so much damage. He does like a big, that's actually a big damaging attack. So he will ignore an additional 30% of the target's defense if the target's current HP is equal to or lower than this champion's current HP. Will decrease the cooldown by 1 turn if the target's current HP is higher than this champion's current HP. So this one from a 3-turn will become a 2-turn cooldown. So that's pretty low already. I'm liking it in that kind of team, I would say. Yeah, let's have a look at the A3. Boom, 200,000, very solid. The target was for sure lower in terms of current HP than us. That's why we did ignore, I guess, 30% of their defense. So that was a good burst. And then he does the A1, boom, boom. And you saw the activation of 5,000. That was the HP burn. Also, the masteries that I have on him, I didn't show them. But I did use a Helm Smasher mastery on the guy. So what I'll be doing next is I'll build him with a more realistic kind of set. And I think this guy will be way better with a Relentless set or a Retaliation set, I would say. Because Retaliation will allow him to counterattack, and that will also help with the HP burn activation. The Relentless set also will allow him to do more of the A2 and A3. I don't know if it's better to have somebody extending the duration of HP burns, let's say in a clan boss situation or something like that. Let's just test it out. For the second part of this showcase, I built a Dreng here with a Retaliation set just to try things out. I will showcase him in 2 areas. One is the dragon and one is the spider. The spider, of course, to showcase that A2 and how strong that HP burn can be. Well, with whatever champion that has an HP burn, you do the same kind of strategy. You want to be killing the spiderlings, and by doing that through the HP burn, you're also killing the big spider. And that's how that works. So I've gone and limited the amount of stats that this guy has in terms of critical rate and critical damage compared to before and the savage set and everything that he had, because that was going to be too much when he was doing his big AoE hit as well as his A3 hit. If he hits a spiraling with that, I don't know how the AI is going to work. That could probably also kill the small spider and just waste an HP burn. And also, what I wanted to try was using Elenarl with this guy. So Elenarl is one of those legendaries that also has an HP burn that is unresistible, but she has it on the A1 skill. So my thought was she would be applying the HP burn regardless of her accuracy that she has, and through that she would also enable Dreng to also do his own HP burn activation, and basically those two would work together. She would hit first and then he would follow, and that's how the HP burn activation, like a chain, would be going in terms of how they work. So let's have a look at that first, at the dragon, and then we'll come back to the spider. I thought of using him for the clan boss in like a bad eater comp, but that was not going to be the best. I think he needs to work with a Vizier if you're going to use him for the clan boss, which also limits on how many options you can have for building Dreng for the clan boss. Not that he's not usable, is that he will be using that HP burn activation so often that the HP burn will just disappear, and his cooldown is quite long compared to, let's say, having a champion that has an extension of debuff. So let's go and have a look at this Spider 25 team that I've made. Is with Elenarl in there and just poisons. Basically, it's a poison comp. You can use another Taurus here, so 2 Taurus instead of Tomb Lord. Prince Chimera is kind of a necessity. You need him for that reset. But let's have a look at how everything works. It's not a fast team by all means, and it's just a showcase of Elenarl working with Dreng and the HP burn. So here is the normal, put all the poisons on the enemies, and then we'll have Elenarl do her big burst with the A3 and hopefully take everybody down. Prince Chimera resets on turn 2. Poisons go up again. We want to see a good 10 slot filled of poisons, and that's going to allow us to hopefully take out all the enemies. There it is. We reach the boss at 30 seconds, which is very similar to what the Seer comp does. Seer comp is actually at 20 seconds, but you get the idea. Because of Prince Kaimar, these kind of setups work very fast to get to the boss. And then it's the poisons that are doing the work. I've even stopped the explosion from Elenaro on purpose, just so it doesn't just destroy us. But the whole point here is to look at Dreng and how his HP burn works together with Elenaro. She's gonna be hitting with the A1 and also activating it. You saw that counter attack there from Dreng because of the retaliation set. So now she countered, but we had too many poisons on the boss, so that was unfortunate. We filled it up too quickly. Yeah, I think that's gonna be one of the bad things about this specific comp. Too many poisons, too many debuffs basically. Maybe I should have used the explosion just to see. Let's try it one more time with the explosion just to see if it's a little bit faster than this, because we fill up the bar so quickly that yeah, it's just a 2-minute team. But let's do one more run without excluding the explosion from the final thing. So there's the A1 finally. Exalted Pyre also going on there. Maybe if I completely stopped that and then just used, all right, let's think of it a little bit different. And instead of having the A2 from Elenaro, I'm actually gonna stop the A2 and actually have Combust work always. And maybe this will be a little different on how this works for this boss. And then maybe I can have Tomb Lord not use his A3 attack. We don't need all those debuffs there on that final boss. We don't need all those debuffs. He just needs to do his A2 skill. The same thing with Taurus. We don't need his A2 skill. And then maybe that's going to be better in terms of how this works. So on dungeon 24, we reach the boss again at about 30 seconds. We have no weak hits here. So hopefully Elenaro is going to work better with Dreng. We have the HP burn on. So that's going to be a little bit added extra damage. I want to see his A1 in action. We get lots of poison. So Elenaro will have a chance to blow those up. But it's not going to do much damage because that's capped. There's the A1 there. It only took away one of those debuffs. And we have maximum amount of poisons. Boom, look at that. Drops the boss down to about 70% health. And then we have like an empty bar of debuffs, which is not what you want to see. There's the HP burn again. Maybe if I build Elenaro a little bit tankier there. She doesn't need to be squishy for this comp. She can definitely work. She doesn't need any damage. She does need crit though. She does need crit for using all of her abilities. She gonna die? Yeah, she did. And yeah, this is about the same time as the Dragon 25 was. Under 2 minutes. Not a fast team. Even if I had like an ally attack kind of team instead, I would still need to go through the waves to utilize the HP burns, both from Elenaro and then having Dreng go back and hit it and take away the debuff. So yeah, under 2 minutes is like double the speed of my normal team, which I use like an Armiger and a Seer. So let's go and have a look at Dreng in the Spider's Den. Spider's Den is where I believe he's gonna be mostly utilized by everyone. Okay, everybody has when they start out, they have a problem with the Spider. Spider is one of the toughest dungeons. And if you're not someone like me who's been playing the game for 3 years, you don't know of so many comps, and he will enable you to actually use many of your champions. Of course, you won't have a build like this, but the idea behind an HP burn comp, as I said before, is control the small spiders. If you don't have a stun, a freeze, or something like that, then you can just have a speed comp that helps Dreng survive. You can use stuff like Armiger there for turn meter reduction instead of the cold hearts. What cold hearts give you is just more damage, and that's more of like an end game comp. The freeze, you don't need a freeze. You can use a stun. Like a Miscreated Monster is amazing. You guys know that. But anything that controls the turn meter, that's gonna help you with those HP burns. Just look at all those HP burns and how much damage they're gonna do now. When the Spiderlings take the turns, the boss drops almost to 50% health. When all of these HP burns just start ticking away and the turn meters drop, it's just amazing on how much damage just one skill does to take down the spider, and that's how these comps work. And as I said before, look at that, look at all that damage that I did. Ideally you want to be running 0 crit on him, like as low as possible, and then run just enough accuracy. If the HP champion needs it, you need run accuracy. This guy doesn't need it, so you don't even care about that. You can run resistance, which I can do that in case he gets hit by the spiderlings, and through that also resist the poison. So okay, so for spider 25, he needs to be he is a weak target, so he needs to be at a good amount of health, but also not too high health, because then the other champions will be targeted, even magic champions, even void champions compared to a spirit champion. So he's at about 60,000 health compared to 37 or so, which the cold hearts have, and Seal and this guy. So you have to have not more than double the health that your allies have, just so that you ensure that the magic enemies will be attacking the spirit enemy. So here we've got Seal of the Drakes, extra stunts here. I kind of need that to just help with more control of how this thing goes. And this also helps because we're gonna get a lot of damage dealt on us from this boss. Seal of the Drakes also is amazing. Speed down, look at that, such a good champion. I've done so many videos before with her years ago actually, and it's just crazy to think that she is still so good in all of the content that it gets released, just because she's got a very solid kit for a champion that you get only 180 days in. And we get more stunts here. This is the problem with just killing the spiders, is that the HP burns don't do their full effect. And we also have a revive with Seal, so it's not like if this fails somehow, this dude dies, it's not like we cannot finish the whole thing, because she will revive him. So the other cold heart is on cooldown. Boom, look at that retaliation set working, and we get another activation there, and we should get another HP burn, and that's it. So it's not a bad time, it's not a good time, but it's still like doable. Instead of Crypt King, you can use anything again for stun. Instead of the cold hearts, you can use something else for Terminator. I wouldn't say Armiger with Dreng in there. Armigers will get wrecked here. I would use more support and just depend on the HP burns to take it down, but that would be like a very long video. Overall, Dreng, I believe is going to be a very solid fusion just because of the unresistible HP burn. This A3 skill that works so well with equalization, and the overall damage that it can do, like you saw at the start of the video, and how much damage this does. And the A1 HP burn activation can be solid, but as you saw, it's tricky to do, and it does take a lot of setup. And for dungeon teams that are fast, you would need a lot of thinking behind, okay, who can I sacrifice to get Dreng in there and another HP burn champion, maybe an extender also for my clan boss team. How can I put Dreng in there? You kind of need Vizier to make this guy work, or you need multiple HP burn champions in there, which doesn't really make a solid clan boss team. Anyway, this was the video, guys. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much. I'll be posting more and more out of all the champions that are offered through the test server, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.